Good morning, everyone. I wanted to share from Mark this morning. It is Mark chapter 12, verses 41 through 44. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins, worth only a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on." Now, I would love to be able to talk about the weird ways we view money in America and how we elevate it greatly. But I actually think that this passage specifically has made it pretty easy for us even in the modern American church to understand how we can approach money. It's a simple idea. Whatever God has given you, give, and give generously. If you don't have much or have anything like this woman, just give what you can. So we actually have a pretty good understanding of that. But I wanted to talk about it this morning in the context of the areas we don't view that passage. See, most churches that I know of refer to the areas that we can be generous in some form of the phrase time, talent, treasure. We love when things start with the same letter. But we can talk about treasure in the context of this parable, but I think the same is true of time and talent. And I think it is just as easy, if not easier, to fall into a trap with specifically time and to some degree talent, where we don't view those things the way that we do this one. So let's take time for an example. Oftentimes here in America, we find ourselves to be very busy, that we have jobs or kids doing sports or other things, or we just have a lot going on. We live in a busier culture than most cultures are, than most times in history. So there's plenty to do, and so we don't have a lot of time. So sometimes our response to that is, I don't have a lot of time, I'll just give money, I'll just write a check, I'll just do whatever. And we can do the same thing when it comes to our talent, where we can say, well, I don't really have any gifts or abilities, and so I'll just do what I can. I'll just give, I will write a check, or I'll volunteer. And there's something to that. I obviously give what you can, and if you have a little bit more, if it's easier for you to give money than give time, then it's not that it has to be even across the board. But I do think it's important that in all of those areas we view them the same way of, even if we don't have an overabundance, that we give what we can. That even if we are busy, that we give what we can of our time, that we give what we can of our talent, even if we feel that we don't have it. And the beauty in that, and why that's so important, is we have a God who loves to move not through the overabundance, but through the deficit. That he loves to take little gifts, little armies, little people, little things, and do wonderful things with them. So I just want to encourage you with that this morning, that whether it is your time, your talent, or your treasure, just give what you can, and trust that even if it's not, it doesn't seem like it's worth giving. That couple cents didn't make a huge difference in the temple treasury, but God loves to do big things when we give, even if it's just a little bit. So hope that's a wonderful reminder for you this morning. I know it is something that I need to be reminded of regularly. So have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your week.